All right, everyone, it is interview time. We're back. We're back. It's late June. April and I just did our first live show in Portland, and it was awesome. And we have another show coming up in after this releases, 5 days later? And or maybe a little later than that. And it will be in Chicago. And Jody, who we're interviewing, Jody, the fellatio expert, is going to be at our live show. She also specializes in kink, all kinds of things. If you're not watching us on YouTube, we have been told by our social media manager or our executive assistant, that we need to remind you to watch on social media. But this is an extra special invitation because my tits are almost out right now.
That's Marie Muir.
Yeah, I'm wearing Marie Muir. Marie Muir is fucking awesome. April would have put hers on now, but she'll probably wear it on stage.
Gonna be a surprise.
Yeah.
And Jody's gonna have some too.
Yeah.
It's a lingerie company. They have like latex and leather, and I have gloves. I shouldn't even
Oh
say
my
it.
God, it's awesome.
So good.
So I'm wearing a bodysuit right now. So go to
Looks
your
hot. It looks really nice.
It's really fucking comfortable.
Oh, it has like finger like,
things
for the middle finger.
And
That's your favorite
yeah,
finger.
I can get my fuck you finger. But it's my favorite finger. Yeah. This is like if I'm going to put an orifice finger, also a fuck you finger, but also it has, when the crotch part it has snaps.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Easy access.
Instead of having to crawl in there. Yeah.
Anyways, they do all kinds of things. Marie Muir, their whole thing is unveil your sexy secrets, women's lingerie and leatherwear, and blah, blah, blah. We are here with Jody. Jody's fucking awesome. She's also a certified sexologist. So, Jody, can you please tell us and our listeners a little bit more about how you got to where you are today in the field of sexuality?
Yes, of course. So, I started having sex very early. I was 14 when I started having sex. And by the time I realized I actually didn't like sex, I was 30.
You didn't like sex, or the sex you were having?
Yeah, no, what I later found out was that it was the sex I was having, but I had to really sit down with myself and say, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And what I realized through asking myself that was that I was having sex as an obligation to my boyfriends and not because it was something that I actually wanted to do. So I set out on a mission to have a whole phase and explore that. So I was like, you know what? I have to have sex on my terms and I have to do it for me. So that's how Provocative was actually born. And I've documented that journey on Provocative on the podcast. And I want to say a couple months, maybe a year into being a podcaster and documenting my journey so far, like, oh, I'm masturbating because I didn't start masturbating until I turned 30. I'm, having I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to have a one night stand and see what that feels like. And I'm going to have casual sex and see what that feels like. Just doing things that felt right for me on my terms. And then about a year into doing that, I said, you know what? This isn't good enough. I don't just want to be someone that is has a podcast and just talking about their own sex stories. I want to help people because there are other people that can resonate with this story about having sex, but not for themselves, but just because we are socialized to, live in a society where you have sex as part of a relationship as your duty, right? As your responsibility to
as
that.
A job.
We call
that it's a job.
Sex.
Exactly. So because we've been constructed to view sex in that way, I had to unlearn a lot of things, right? So I've documented that journey, and then I took a step further, became a certified sexologist. Then I also went and got my fellatio instructor's certification as well.
Where do you do that?
Yeah, so I got my fellatio instructor's certification through Sexpert Consultants. It's a company, you've heard of them.
Yes.
Yes. So I studied under Reba. She's amazing.
Yes, Reba. We've been meaning to have her on our show, and there's been this miss anyways. Awesome.
Yeah. So I love when people in our community are like, no, wait, I know her, right?
Yeah.
So she's amazing. And I've been teaching fellatio and then also, teaching other forms of kink as well, because through this journey, what I realized was that I'm an extremely kinky person. I've always looked at myself as freaky, but once I started really going down this kind of rabbit hole of BDSM, I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like an undercover dominatrix and I never would have known. So I really just documented that. I share the good, the bad, and the ugly on the Provocative podcast. I share education. I'm also entertaining. I crack jokes. Majority of my jokes are about dicks. So it's quite
Us too.
entertaining.
I feel you on that. And you're a very performative human. And when
Very
we saw what
performative.
you were doing in this world, we were stoked that you agreed to be on our live tour and also that you're here on our show teaching us
Yes.
all of the things that you've learned, because obviously now you love sex,
Love
probably
it.
because it's for you, right? It's
Yes.
about your pleasure.
We didn't realize till you're 30, which is
Yeah.
not unusual, but awesome, right? Some people
Yeah.
never feel in their entire lifetimes, right?
I hope that the media that's being put out there now is helping people feel more comfortable in their sexuality. I think there was a lot of media that was compressing and hard to understand your sexuality before podcasting and sex podcasting. And thank you to
Yeah.
Emily Morse for really paving the way, and Dan Savage. But I think now we have so many different options for people and what they love and the avenues. So in your journey, when it comes down to your journey of being from where you were then when you were 30, and I don't know how old you are now, but you look like you're 25. So I'm like, did you go backwards in time? Because
It must
I
be a
don't
kind
know.
of liking sex that
Maybe that was all the O's that gave you a glows. So what shifted besides, obviously, hopefully you were having better sex after you were like learning
I
about
have
your own
amazing
body.
sex now.
No, I didn't doubt that.
We figured.
So what do you think would be your tips for people that are in that rut? They're like, I'm having sex for my partner and not for myself. And if they don't want to become a certified sexologist or a fellatio expert, obviously they can listen to you if they do. What would you suggest their steps should be to kind of get in that direction of enjoying sex?
So, I view my sexual journey much like any other spiritual journey. You literally have to look within yourself and figure out, all right, these are my goals. This is the person that I want to be in the bedroom. I really had to visualize the person that I wanted to be. Right. And it's like, okay, the way you do, if you want to start a business, you do the research and you set goals and you really make a plan. That's exactly what I did with my sex life. I really created the sex life that I wanted. And I believe that, again, of course, I'm a pleasure advocate. I believe that everyone should be having the type of sex that they want. That is how you know that you're having a fulfilled sex life. If you feel like, oh, I'm not having enough orgasms, or I don't really feel fulfilled, you're not having great sex. There's no way you can have great sex because you're not fulfilled. But the moment that you begin to shift your mindset, right? Because that's what it is. It's a mindset shift. I view sex as a philosophy. Like for me, sex is interdisciplinary. We talk like, oftentimes I talk about the social, the historical, the philosophical, the emotional, the hormonal and biological components that come into sex, right? So when I say that, like, I really study sex and that's allowed me to like enjoy it all of the time. So it's to the point where it doesn't matter who my partner is, I'm going to have an amazing experience. And because I'm so skilled in what I do now, my partner is going to have an amazing experience because they're just happy to be there. They're happy to just be around.
Well, of course they are also because, I mean, great partners, in my opinion, whether you have a pussy cock or all in betweens, are stoked when they're seeing that you're happy to be there too.
You
like,
enjoy
you're
yourself.
having your orgasms and pleasure.
Yes, totally agree. So when you kind of own that, see, oftentimes the conversation is around, when we talk about like, oh, 80% of women don't, have an orgasm from penetration alone. When we hear those stats, right, it implies implicitly what's in that what's being said when we say those things is that you depend on a man to make you orgasm. And that is problematic, right? You should depend on yourself to have a pleasurable experience and have an orgasm. If orgasm is the pleasurable experience, great. Because what we know to be true is that the orgasm is the outer body experience, whereas the ejaculation is something different. So oftentimes we're like, oh, well, did you come? Does that really matter?
Yeah, really. Does it? Does it that much?
Not necessarily, because if you know anything about anatomy, you can go up in there, press a couple buttons, and boom, you had ejaculation. Like there was no anticipation, no pleasure at all.
Yeah. Or if you're like a cock owner, you could just go wank and have it like go jizz, but like there's so much more to it.
Exactly. So we're being really clear on defining what pleasure looks like for you and sticking with that and saying like, look, this is who I am. This is what feels great to me. I'm going to have experiences that align with what I want. And I'm not having any type of experiences that I don't want. Like me, once I realized I don't really care for vanilla sex, I like, it's just not going to happen for me. Like, even something that's like vanilla adjacent. And what I mean by that, like, I guess I'll call it Neapolitan ice cream, right?
The strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
Yeah,
all that, I like that
right.
one.
So it's
I
like,
like that.
And then you mix them all together.
yeah,
And it turns
because
into like, yeah.
even if it's something that's like
Now I
a
want ice cream.
quickie, right? A quickie isn't vanilla in my world because I'm gonna pull out a toy and then I'm gonna make you watch me first. So now I'm engaging in my exhibitionist quality and you're being a voyeur, right? So I took something where it's like people are just looking at it from a vanilla mindset and they're like, well, you just had a quickie. No, we engaged in something different. So it's all about a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Dude,
Major
wait,
shift.
I called Neapolitan ice cream swirled together when I was little mush mushage. I just wanted that. Mush mushage. That was what.
What's the mushage part?
I don't know mush mushage because I was massaging it with a
Massaging the
spoon.
cream.
So mush mushage.
Okay, I have a question about that for April in a second because I feel like that could be a sex move. It could be like a sex
Ooh, the
technique.
mush mushage.
I definitely feel like that's,
Yeah, mush. Will you mush massage me right now?
I mean, I don't know if I
Right.
could. I did it with a spoon usually when I was like 6.
Yeah, I feel like that's a sex move. Like I don't know, you mix like lube in there or something with like the natural juices, and then your partner.
But no ice cream on the pussy because that's just too much sugar.
Of course not. No, like you better get some flavored, I don't know, some ice cream flavored lube or something. But no.
So I want to bring all of this to sucking dick because
my favorite thing to talk about.
Mush massage of sucking dick.
So for question 1, how do you mush massage? That's an April question. Actually, think about the April because that actually could be a really great thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
So fellatio expert, fellatio instructor, when it comes to sucking the D, and then you're talking about this evolution to liking sex. So I think a lot of people, let's speak to like heterosexual couples who are sucking the dick and they're like, I don't really like this. It feels like a job, So because I've heard a lot of people say, well, the reason why people don't like it is because they don't think they're good at it, which I actually agree with. A lot of people don't enjoy doing it, think they're not good at. So question 1 for you is, what do you think about that? And question 2 is, what other tips or tricks do you have for people to not only just enjoy sucking the D or putting their mouth in the D, but like to actually, I don't know, feel good or skilled at it?
That is an amazing question. I totally agree that a lot of people think they're bad at it. And guess what? A lot of people are. Like, that's not coming out of nowhere. If you think you're bad at something, you probably are.
Yeah.
Right. But if you want to, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you keep telling yourself, like, I can't do this, guess what? You can't. Yeah. Right.
Well, you're in your head then in those times too. You're like, oh, no, not good, can't do this.
Yes. So you're probably performing very bad. Like, I can't imagine, like, right now is sports season. I can't imagine a basketball player like going like, you know what? I can't do this.
April calls it sports ball, by the way, sports ball.
Yeah. So 1, it's all in your head. A lot of it is in your head, right? If you think you are bad at it, you probably are. You have to make up in your mind that you want to be better at it. You have to tell yourself, like, no, I suck right now. At least I'm self-aware and I know this is not good. How do I get better? The first step is you have to want to do it. You have to be enthusiastic about it. Enthusiasm will go a long way. I've heard this personally from men over and over again. They will take the woman that really wants to do it and she might not be that good at it versus the woman that just does a whole lot of tricks and it seems like it's so second nature that she's not really into it.
Yeah.
That enthusiasm goes a long way, especially with men. A lot of them won't tell you that it's bad. They're just happy it's in your mouth.
Yeah, like
now,
there's a mouth on my dick. That's great.
Exactly. Like, I'm just happy we're here. But let's take it up a notch, right? Actually show him that you are enjoying it. Now he's like, you know what? I think I'm enjoying this now because you're enjoying it so much. They're enjoying the theatrics and the performative nature of it. And to your point earlier, I am a very performative person. So when I do fellatio, I teach people the performative parts of fellatio. How do you make it a production? How do you make it a scene, a whole scene, right? You're lighting candles, you're dimming lights, you're playing soft music, you're crawling to him super sexy, right? You are creating a whole experience. And when you put that effort into it, he's always gonna remember that. You are creating a memorable experience for not only him, but for you, because now your confidence is being built in that moment, right? Because you go from this person that's like, I don't really know what I'm doing to, oh, I got this.
And you could cross use that between if you're eating pussy or you're sucking dick.
Exactly.
You could really use both of those things. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. I tell people actually in my class, so I teach a class called throat choreography because fellatio
Throat choreography?
Yes, throat
That's
choreography
awesome.
because fellatio should feel like a beautiful dance with your throat. And when I tell them that there are a lot of similarities between a penis and a clitoris, right? A clitoris can, blood rushes to the clitoris and it gets hard, it gets erect. In the same way, blood rushes to the penis and it gets erect, right? The difference is men can get erect like that. Women, it takes about 18 to 40 minutes. It really takes us a while to get warmed up. You gotta slow cook us, right? You can microwave a man. You gotta put us in the
microwave.
It's like a rotisserie chicken. It like takes some time to get ready.
I like that
you gotta
one.
slow cook
Or
us.
like a vegan version of that. What would that be? Like a rotisserie tofu?
Tofu.
Yeah.
Tofu.
Like
Sorry, vegans.
you guys are hilarious.
So you have something else, and I have such a deep question after this. Not deep, but like fun.
Yes.
Deep throat question. No, I don't.
You said deep throat question?
No, I kind of do, but it's leading into that. So please finish because you have so many good things. And I keep
Yes.
missing.
So yes, definitely enthusiasm. That's my number one tip, right? My number two tip is the more you know, the better you'll be able to bring that knowledge in there, right? So, people have a lot of reservations like, oh, well, what about hygiene or what about this? What about that, right? There's a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of bad information, but find someone that you trust and you trust their feedback and you trust the information that they share, right? And then you'll be able to say like, you know what? I know that semen has zinc and melatonin and oxytocin and serotonin and all of these happy drugs.
It has zinc?
It has zinc.
Oh my God. April's not feeling so good. Maybe she needs some jizz in her throat.
I tell people that all the time. I'm like,
was
if you
offered.
feel like under the weather,
It was offered.
I was like, oh no. Good to know though. Now I'll feel a little bit better because it's usually all in your head or their head in that case. Nope, never mind. Oh.
Either way, heads involved.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
awesome.
I would definitely say, again, like those are hands down like my top two tips. Enthusiasm, and then just do a little research. Because again, everybody's gonna have their different reservations. So do research specific to your reservation. If it's a hygiene thing, do research related to hygiene. If it's like, oh, I have an issue with the way in which, society, kind of like makes it seem like if you give head and it's dirty, do research on the social and historical constructs around fellatio, right?
Well, I think that's great, but confidence, and this is because this is what brings me to my point with, yes, thank you, because I think those 3 tips that you just shared are huge. And confidence is something that a lot of people, if they're nervous with their partner, maybe they've been with their partner a little amount of time or a long amount of time, but confidence is huge. And I think that for a lot of folks out there, at least I know I can take back my power and get some confidence. And I think Amy has a lot of confidence today too. Not that you don't usually, but she's wearing this beautiful,
no, certainly not.
Yeah, she's wearing this amazing bodysuit and lingerie or sexy gear, I think, and you can maybe attest to this or not, can really take you to that next level of feeling hot. You can put on some hot shoes with it. If you like to be barefoot and just have like the thong on, or get like just a sexy bra and have no panties, and this is speaking to folks that want to wear lingerie. If you're like, I hate lingerie, you can put a fucking ball gag around your neck, or get some handcuffs ready.
I'm not a lingerie person. And I'm a barefoot person too. I'm also over 5'9". And so this the Marie Muir brand that we just discovered, I'm like, what the fuck? It's mariemuir.com. It's amazing.
I got gloves.
MarieMuir.com. Everyone go check it out. And just want to say, if you want a discount, just go there and use discount code Shameless, get 15% off. But I'm exactly what you're saying.
Lingerie, you can wear. I just got amazing tulle gloves that go all the way up. And I was like, these are dope. And I love lingerie.
They're fucking
so
hot.
I can't wait to see what you're going to wear in Chicago, because I know you have your plethora of lingerie available, and Marie Muir is sending you some things. So what do you think about confidence in terms of going downtown?
Yes. So again, I teach the performance aspect of fellatio. So you have to do things that make you feel good. If you feel good, you will perform good, right? If you are like, oh, you know what, I'm kind of tired. You might be like, oh, I don't really smell good. Like, what's going on here? all of that energy, because that's what it is. It's energy. That is the energy you're bringing to your performance, right? That is going to show. So, yes, put on lingerie. You should do things that make you feel sexy. If it means that, I know me, I love how purple looks on my skin. So when I'm performing, I will turn I have a talent show room. So I'm going to turn my lights on the provocative purple setting, and I'm going to put on some
Is your
lingerie.
talent show room like in your house?
Yeah, like it's my room, but when I say talent showroom, I mean like I have lights where it's like I just use like my phone and it switches to like I can change the colors of the lights.
Oh, the cute, like the smart bulbs. I love.
Yeah, the smart bulbs.
I have those all over my house.
What are your go-to colors? We just did our
She said purple.
Purple, because we did
purple,
it when our live show. We just did it in June, so we're doing purple when you're there on June 30th, and this is 2024.
That sounds good.
Because we went pink.
Dirty Lola loved pink.
Yeah,
that's why we did pink. Yeah,
so purple, sexy lighting. Okay,
yes. Because purple is super sexy. I feel like people always assume like red is sexy, but it's like purple is really sexy. Like it's a really sexy color.
And it's kind of a little neutral. So like April and I, our history is, the sex toy world, and we're still in it. And remember all the purple dildos, all the sex toys and vibrators. Purple was like the neutral color, but it's a sexy color. I've always gone red for lighting, but red is like, I like this pink and purple. What about you, Chip? What
if the red is not this red that kind of, because sometimes you can really amplify people's red tones in their skin, which folks might not like. Which for me, like the red can sometimes be a little bit more, but if it's dim enough, it's fine. But then sometimes you can't see it and you run into a wall.
Then you feel you run into a wall.
I'm like, now I don't really feel sexy at all.
Yeah, I'd be like,
safety is important.
But I do love red on the bottom. Like I like wearing red lingerie. I do love that. But red lighting it's give or take. It depends.
And for some people, it can feel a little bit like red light district ish, which I like that. I think that's super hot.
I haven't tried purple. I'm gonna try that tonight with my Hue lights. I love my those bulbs. We're not sponsored by Hue, or you can call them smart bulbs. I think you can get them on Amazon too. And that's like there's an app.
Yeah.
I think smart balls like
smart bulb. Oh yeah, no, it's smart bulb.
So I think if you're not listening or not listening, sorry, if you don't live in Chicago, then this might not apply to you. But if you are in Chicago, just know that you should come to our show on Zanies at June.
Club, right?
It was used to be a little strip club, and we have this lovely human Jody that will be there performing. We will have purple lighting. We promise you. So I want to bring us back to. I love April's question about like the sexy gear, and again the Marie Muir. Everyone go check it out because I identify as a sexy person, but I'm a naked, sexy person. And so I just love this bodysuit that I'm wearing by Marie Muir. Here you go.
You're so confident. And once you put that thing on, she had a t-shirt on. She's like, did you see this thing? I saw a couple of pictures because you sent it to one of our sponsors.
I did. Yeah.
He's this amazing gay man that's going to be there. That's like, I need one of those. And we're like, bitch, we can get you one too.
I was like, I don't know if the balls will fit in here, but
we can tuck it.
We're going to get some for Jody too. So go check out MarieMuir.com. Use coupon code Shameless, get 15% off. But here's my question. You said the historical and social constructs of fellatio, like educate yourself. What does that mean?
Yes. So the way in which we perceive fellatio is different all over the world. It's different from, depending on racial backgrounds. Like literally there are studies that show like, all right, women of color, specifically Black women and Latino women, are way less likely to enjoy performing fellatio because it's seen as something dirty versus like, all right, cool. When it comes to like Caucasian women, for example, they're like, oh no, like it's just another form of sex. Like they're a little bit more comfortable with it and they're a little bit more comfortable talking about it. Now, of course, as we've discussed before, we are living in a more liberated society. So people are getting more comfortable about talking about it, but it's still one of those things that's so deeply ingrained in the way in which we approach stuff. If you don't do the work to unlearn that, look, there's a reason that you have these limiting beliefs, these psychological blocks when it comes to performing, which, again, it might have been when you were like 14, 15, you might have overheard an adult say like, no, you don't do that. That's not what that's for. Or you might come from a very religious family and they're like, no, you don't engage in that type of sex because it's not for reproductive purposes, or it's not, for whatever reason, right? Because we never know what that small nugget of, knowledge that's going to translate into a core belief. And now we've taken that with us for the rest of our lives. So you really have to understand, like, look, make sure you do the work to define sex for yourself. and it's not in a way that, is heavily rooted in shame and guilt and, oh, I just don't want to do that because it makes me feel nasty or icky. Sex is not nasty. Sex is not icky. It is very natural. You should do things that you enjoy. If you genuinely do not enjoy it, great. But make sure you genuinely don't enjoy it. And it's not because of, something that your grandma said to you when you were 17.
that wasn't yours in the first place, right? That was like, that was a projection from them. And I will say, in terms of like the oral pleasure is really, it's vulnerable, right? It's a very vulnerable position. It's very very much so for the giver, for the receiver, at least, especially when you're not feeling experienced or confident. And, or if you've had any shame or trauma around it, which is something that I like want to attest to, because at a young age, I did have like an experience that was like, not like it was an unconsensual act.
We were just talking about this.
Yes. Yeah. And so I was like 14 years old and pretty much forced to give this 18-year-old boyfriend that was like, I never had sex before. I'd never given a blowjob before.
Right.
Didn't have, and it's in our book, but like not deep, like, and I'm not going to go into the deep trauma pieces, but what I'm saying is what I learned from my experience. So
he was pushing your head down.
He was pushing my head down. Yeah. He like unzipped his pants. I'm pushing my head down. And so after that experience, like I kind of like forced my mouth away, which I was like, ugh. And then, and he had like, oh, I'm getting blue balls, the classic 90s thing.
God, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So, but to bring it back to like almost me reclaiming what had happened, it took me a long time. And I was always pretty dead set on only giving oral to people that I loved, whether like that I really felt safe.
That's how a lot of people end up. That's how a lot of people end up saying like, no, I don't do this with everyone, or I have to do it with someone that I've been in a relationship with for 5 years. It's like, whoa.
And I've heard this about pussy eating too, by the way. Same thing. Like I only go down on women if I'm in love with them.
Right. And I don't, I've strayed away from that. And I want to say I took the power back. And after I was in 2 long-term relationships where I finally did, suck cock, didn't really know what I was doing, try to watch a lot of movies and instructional videos and learn. And I still would be like, oh, like I'd watch Amy doing 101 classes.
Jody. You just needed Jody.
I needed Jody back then. This was a long time ago. And now I can watch porn, and I love watching the porn with like the forced head stuff, like where it's forced, because I think it's as long as it's acting, because I'm taking back the power. And that has been a turn on now for me, but it used to be horrendous to see. So I just want to make that a highlight, because I feel like, as you said, being trusting and feeling safe, as we all know, being sex educators is really important. And obviously there's another one that I know Amy will talk about, because she talks a lot about that when you're giving head or being in sex itself. But I just wanted to bring that up and to let everyone know out there that you can reclaim any shame.
I totally agree. I had a similar situation where, and I talk about this on my show, I was molested for years. And as part of that molestation was the person that was abusing me would go down on me. And so I did not want people to go down on me at all. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't until I was maybe 26 where I began to finally be like, okay, I think I can kind of feel comfortable doing this. But it took a long time. And again, we never, because so many people have so many different things going on with them, have so many different trauma responses, right? Whether it be physical, emotional, mental, verbal, what have you. There are different reasons as to why we begin to formulate our thoughts around sex. So it's so important to do a sex audit with yourself. Why do I have the beliefs that I have? Are they limiting beliefs, or are they liberating beliefs? And then being able to make decisions around it.
I like that. So are they limiting or liberating? That's really insightful, and like what April said and what you said.
Easy to determine, right?
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. Are these holding back? Or are they like, no, these are inspiring? So you are both talking about like, no, I was able to find power in it, but part of that is through education, having positive experience with other partners that are like not shoving your fucking head down, or for you, Jody, right? Like in a completely non-consensual experience, not just experience is. And a lot of people, when they hear about like kink or fetish, and oral sex usually doesn't go in that category, like loving sucking some dick or eating some pussy.
it can because
right?
it can. And the reason I'll give you guys an example, like face sitting is really huge, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, so like
Or like is it queening? What's the queening
like
chair?
you queen. Yeah. So like someone might sit there
chair
for
with a hole?
hours with like an ass in their face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never
It
knew that
can
term. I love
be.
that.
It can totally turn into and so people think of like kinky people or like someone who loves sucking dick and they can't get enough dick. Like, well, what happened to you when you were a child? And sometimes there is trauma, right? April, you're talking about
Yeah.
trauma. Jody, you are too. And like I don't particularly have that same trauma around that. But I had something similar with some like with the pussy eating, but not like trauma, more so like my first sexual partners just never offered it, nor did I know how to ask. And so it took me years to get comfortable with that. So I'm bringing this just another question here. So I have heard, Jody, I've heard these theories. So we talked about enthusiasm, which we know applies to anything we're doing sex. Pussies, cocks, assholes, all the things, non-genitals, right? Enthusiasm is a great tip for better sex in general. So, but I have talked to a couple people, and so they say, this is what they say. As my tits pop out, this beautiful Marie Muir's bodysuit. So enthusiasm is one of the best tips for, pleasuring the D. But when it comes to pleasuring the pussy, and this is mostly about pleasuring the D, this podcast, but when it comes to pleasuring the pussy, yes, enthusiasm is great. Like, oh my God, your pussy.
But it doesn't get you as far as.
So what I heard, one of the top things is presence and attunement. Like, paying attention to the person. So what do you think about those and the differentiation between the D and the puss?
Yes. So similar when I said that, both can be erect, but it takes longer for a woman, right? So that enthusiasm, it can get you far with a penis owner. It cannot get you far necessarily with a vagina owner because you have to really engage in foreplay. And that's where that like paying attention comes into place, right? You really have to be present. You really have to be focused in on your partner and what they like specifically, right? Because they're all created differently. They are not created equal by any means. And you have to be patient, right? You have to be way more patient when it comes to, vagina owners versus, penis owners, right? That said, you still got to do the work. It's going to be great when you get there. You just got to do the work.
April, so, damn it.
I'm kidding, but yeah.
Yeah, like you really just have to do the work. There's no way around it, right? Like I said, you can microwave a man. You got to slow cook a woman. That's just what it comes.
I love this microwave a man and slow cook.
I like the I'm just rotisserie chickening the
vulva.
Like, what an instant pot. What about that? Who's in?
Yeah, because
that's a good question.
If you're not ready to slow cook, and again, don't just assume that foreplay is about oral sex, right? Sensual massages, slow talking, affirming her, right? Oh my God, you look so sexy. Like doing those things was like, oh, you're making me tingle, right? And keep doing that over and over and over again, right? And you do that for an extended amount of time to whereas by the time you are ready to, maybe penetrate her, she is on the edge of her seat, right? And that's how it should be. That is the only way you should want to enter, is because they're like, all right, cool. We're not gonna be. I've edged her up. I've let her marinate. Ooh. I've let her, like she's. I love food analogies because
like a steak,
marinate, yes. And so I was just saying to April's like, I think I figured out another reason why I love this fucking bodysuit is I could just, because there's the snaps on the crotch, on the pussy area, we could just snap it. I could still wear this sexy outfit. And then after you've already like seduced me, but I'm still in my sexy hot outfit, you can make your way to my pussy. But like you have to do all these other things. You have to basically marinate me for a while, like a steak.
And they can bite off the snaps.
But then no, you just snap them. It's just like, tick, and then now my pussy is available after you've done all the marinating that you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
I think that's hot.
I know.
So I think that there's so much in the art of fellatio, the art of cunnilingus, the art of all of sexual interactions with people, and it's an evolution, right? And I would love for you, if you can, because if folks can't be in Chicago, sorry for you. We're gonna be at Zanies on June 30th, 2024. for everyone. So what do you think? 'Cause I know when you started talking to us about what you do, I was like, oh, this queen right here is going to be so fucking amazing. So what can you give just a tiny, don't give away too much, but a tiny taste of not only what you're going to bring to Shameless Sex, because you're a very experienced performer, educator, sexologist, podcaster. What can people expect if they make their way to Zanies on June 30th for the Shameless Sex show?
Yes. So just like even on, this conversation that we've had so far, you can expect some knowledge, right? Because even when I'm cracking jokes, I'm not telling lies. So I might tell a joke, but I'm not going to tell a lie. So behind the jokes is very important information that you are going to remember because I said it in a funny way, right? But you can expect education. You can expect entertainment. You can expect some kink because, again, I'm a very kinky person and I like to incorporate kink into everything that I do. I am an exhibitionist, so I enjoy when the spotlight is on me. I like when people watch me. And I give people kind of cheat codes. That's what I like to refer
to.
Cheat codes.
Oh, cheat codes,
right?
Oh my God, we love cheat codes.
Yes, I love to give
people. It's like buzz hacks, like life hacks,
it's like Viagra for your brain. It makes things easier.
I love to give people cheat codes. So, you might say, but Jody, what if I don't have this? Glad you asked. You can substitute it for that. So I love giving people cheat codes because sometimes you never know when you might find something useful. So yeah, those are the things you can expect. Again, I'm super performative, so you're going to be entertained. You're going to have some education. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to it.
And the unexpected, the expected and the unexpected.
And aside from our live show, and we'll get to that, how people can find you, because I've actually listened to your podcast and stalked you on the interwebs. And so
your links to me, and I was like, oh,
so
yeah,
have you seen this? Have you seen
Jody? I loved it. I love she's awesome.
Aside from our show, go follow Jody's podcast and go and also
the provocative.
Yeah,
provocative. I call you the provocateur though, because I'm like
but
it's provocative.
It's spelled like Pro-Ho with an H-O-E vocative. And then also your Instagram is fucking badass. But what the other things I want to say is like, the show isn't just about, sucking dick or this hot lingerie by Marie Muir that I will, at least I'll be wearing, and maybe the three of us. But also,
you gotta take pictures.
Like you said, we're going to bring in the kink aspect there. And so I know for a lot of people who are not super kinky, one of our favorite brands, and I think we're going to have some products on stage for this, is Sport Sheets, right? There's going to be all these different things that we're bringing in there. So Sport Sheets, one of our like favorite softcore brands there. And so there's so many fun things within our live show and our podcast, but also how people can seek out more about Jody.
Can I just speak to how many okay, so we just finished Portland. We just came back. My voice is gone. I'm still earning it back.
Yes, good.
And it's getting better. I took like a Mucinex and a Claritin, not sponsored by either of those things. But the people that arrived, we gave out so much free stuff from our sponsors. Like shout out to Magic Wand.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite toys since I was a baby bird using toys at 23. I still love the Magic Wand. And it's like, and you get a sex toy, and you get and then Anero.
So many. Anero's Magic Wand.
We're gonna have Anero's reps there. Womanizer.
Pure
Uber Lube, which is Chicago's the birthplace of Uber Lube, y'all. And then if you don't want silicone,
I used a little bit yesterday.
Oh yeah, it's dope.
Feels amazing.
But if you get Marie Muir latex clothing, Uber Lube
you can put it on it.
You can put it on it, and it like helps like lubricate the actual latex to make it last longer.
Or if you have cheat codes, you can put it like under
cheat codes.
And so if you all come to our show, if you can come to our show, if you get the VIP package, which is like $40 more, you get all of these toys.
It was
over $400.
We gave probably close to $500 worth of free toys.
I think
maybe
thousands of dollars.
I'm not kidding. People were stoked. They were like, "Oh, gato."
Yeah.
So,
gato.
Because I was like, our sponsors have been awesome. So
with our
go to the show, spend $25 to $30. If you don't get it in advance, it's more money. And then get so much free toys and so much interaction with us on stage and Jody.
So if you want to go and sign up for a show, go to shamelesssex.com and then you'll see the event section. Go sign up there. But aside from that, Jody, if they can't come to the show, or if they can, how do people find you? How do they work with you? What are your offerings and services? I think you have like online workshops and things. Like, how do people get more Jody in their lives?
Yes. And everybody needs some more Jody in their life. So you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JODYPRHO. So Jody PRHO.
HOE though. HOE.
Yes,
All right, good.
Yes.
HOE.
Okay, good.
Yes, Jody PRHOE on Instagram. You'll also be able to follow the podcast Instagram. That's at provocative PRHOEVOCATIVE. You guys can also listen to Provocative wherever you stream your podcast. Apple Podcasts. I actually have video on Apple Podcasts. So if you guys want to watch, you can do that in Apple Podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen, I'm probably there. I say really funny, cool stuff, and I put it on shirts. So if you're interested in the merch, you can go to provocative.com. There's merch there. I say stuff like, I'm sad. I think I need a little head, or give me head, not headache. Just super cute stuff that you can, get a shirt.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I am the resident sex expert at Tease University, which is a virtual all-in-one platform where women can literally sign up for sex classes, fitness classes, sensuality, self-reflective classes. It's all in one platform. Tease. Tease. So Tease like tease me.
Tease University. Almost like it sounds like a Z. And I was like, Teeth University? Okay.
Like mouth teeth?
I know. I was like,
teeth.
I think the dentist already stole that one. The dentist stole that one. No, Tease University makes sense. But TEASE University. Okay, got it. Nice. I love that. For women only, for vulva identified folks.
Yeah, or I mean, if you are someone that, whether you identify, regardless of how you identify, if you know that you want to, be more sexy, be more confident, learn more about, how to, I just taught a class last night about anal training. So if that's something you're into,
who was on our show? We said anal training was so fucking.
Daddy Hef.
Daddy Hef.
I love Daddy Hef.
Oh my God. I was like, can you anal train my asshole?
Yes.
Jody, I'll take you too. I'll take both.
Yes. I love Daddy Hef. I'll be seeing him soon. Like he's amazing. He came to one of the provocative parties that I throw. So I throw an event. It's called the Provocative Party, and at the Provocative Party, we do demonstrations. So you'll see a demonstration, and then you're able to actually participate in the demonstration in a very intimate and low, kind of low pressure environment. So,
and wait, where is this though? Where do we go?
So it happens in Chicago. I do it twice a year. Just had one on 6/9 for National Sex Day. That's also the 3-year anniversary of Provocative. So definitely had to do a provocative party then. The next party will be in November because it's Scorpio season, and definitely going to have another one around that time. So that's always fun. I also do, I accept sex coaching clients. So if you have something very specific that you have questions around or you want to learn about, I do offer services as well. I also do sensual play services. So if you say, you know what, Jody, I want you to tie me up and, massage me for an hour, that's fine. I do that. So
you got to pay her good, though. You got to pay her good. Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, I'm really good with my hands.
I have no doubt about
and all of these links, it's all going to be found on your website, and people can just follow the links if you're driving or something.
Too.
And
if you go look at the notes wherever you're listening.
About to say, thank you, Miss Amy. Yes. She's a mind reader. She's a mind reader. And I can't wait to see you and read all your body language and your amazing things. We're going to see you in person in Chicago, June 30th in your hometown. I know that you reign from there. I'm from Wisconsin, but I knew a lot of I grew up in Wisconsin with a lot of Chicago folks. We'd go down to the city. Don't know the city. I'm like a weird, I love everything about it and I don't know anything about it kind of person, but I always learn more every time I go. And you were already telling me about some good restaurants. So I'm not going to spoil anything, but I cannot wait to see you in person. And when this comes out, it'll be only a few days, but for all y'all out there, come and see us in Chicago at Zanies on June 30th. Miss Jody, you are so lovely and just incredible. Thank you for being here with us. We can't wait to get you that Marie Muir.
Yes, thank you for having me. You guys are amazing.
Yes, we can't wait to see you. And to all of our listeners out there, come and check us out. We'll be in Chicago, then we'll be in Seattle August 1st. We'll be in Chicago June 30th. Portland was a smash hit, so don't get jealous. Come and see us if you're in that area. Come and check out Jody and all of her work. Or if you are not in the Chicagoland area, go check out the ProHOEvocative podcast, website, all of it. And the links are in the show notes, as Amy just stated. And we love you, each and every one of you. Rate us on iTunes or any platform that you're listening to our podcast on. Check us out on YouTubies. The YouTubies, okay? YouTubies. I'm going to mush massage you if you go on the YouTubies.
Oh, wait, okay, real quick, pop quiz.
I'm going to come up with like a fellatio trick, and I'm going to call it mush massage.
So if you were to mush massage, we're just like, I want to rapid fire. If you were going to do something on a deed and it was called the mush massage, what do you think it would be? Jody first, go.
I'm going to get a fruit roll up. I'm going to also get some edible lube, and I'm going to make this motion around.
You gotta watch YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. It's not easy for me because I used to do this and when I was little, 6, and I would show my brother the mush massage because like with the ice cream that I did.
Probably mush massage the gooch while you do this.
Yeah. My brother lives in Chicago, and he knows about mush massage because we used to make mush massage ice cream sundaes together, which would just meant just doing that. So I would have to think about that.
It looks like,
but it's not sexual for me until I'm like, oh no.
It looks like kind of like sucking a cock, but you're doing something with the balls and the taint at the same time with the other. Yeah.
Massage.
Go to YouTube. This is fucking awesome.
That's it. We just created it. It's the mush massage.
It's been since the 1980s, but only with ice cream. Now it's been brought to real life, not abandoned. All right, y'all. We love you, Shameless Sex Revolutionaries. We love you, Jody. We'll see you next Tuesday, everyone. We'll see you June 30th, Miss Jody. All right, ciao for now.